Right now, we are going to go over one of my favorite topics, COVID bar charts, horizontal bar charts specifically. So, the stuff that we're doing is powerful. It's being able to interpret and analyze raw data. It becomes like powerful when we use it to actually interpret new data. So, I'm going to give you an example right now. Do this with me. Let's look up, okay, updated COVID data CISV file. Why am I doing it like this? Because I want it to be current, meaning like from today. I'm looking for the data, and in particular, we've been using a lot of CSV files. This is the best way to store data. Okay, press return. Now, when doing that, hopefully you'll see this link, coronavirus source data, our world in data. It says it is updated daily. Great. Okay, so hopefully that shows up for you. Click on that. If not, you should see a link here, ourworldindata.org / coronavirus source data. Now, it does say, if you look at it down here, you can find the complete data set together with complete, etc. at our GitHub repository here. We've looked at how to actually import raw CSV files via GitHub. So let's click here. Now, in here we have different stuff, okay? And we have different folders. And in particular, I'm interested right now in vaccinations. There's a lot of vaccinations. That's a big talk in the US. Data is updated daily. So this looks pretty good. And you can see it was updated 7 hours ago. Now, we do need the reference that this video is being recorded on June 20th, 2021. Okay? Hopefully when you're looking at it, it's in my future, I mean your past, and you're going to get more updated data. So let's click on that. And then you can see US state vaccinations. I think that one looks good. That's the most recently updated one. Let's try that. Okay, so click on it. Hopefully we can analyze by state. It's common for this to happen. Just click view raw. It's a big file. And there we have it. You can see a bunch of Alabama entries at the top. This looks good. Okay, so this is going to be our URL. Go ahead and copy it. And again, if you couldn't get it for any reason, this URL will be shared. And then open up a new Colab notebook. Great. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay. I will also tell you all this. Now let's title this COVID bar charts. It's really horizontal bar charts, but okay. So put in the URL. What I wanted to say is that I was looking at another one and I actually wasn't updating very well anymore. So I found this one. I think it's a little better. Okay, let's look at it. So usual thing, it's a CSV file, right? We need to get pandas in there to handle stuff. And df equals pd.read underscore CSV and then URL. Let's check it out. Okay, what are we going to get? So we had a little preview with Alabama. Note that there's some null values here. And we have dates, right? And these dates, if we look, see, you got to look at the data, right? I'm interpreting it because I'm teaching you all, but when you have the data, you look at it on your own and you interpret it, okay? So you look at it, you see dates, you see Alabama, you see total vaccinations. Now, if you see this makes sense, total vaccinations are going up over time as the dates are going up. Same with total distributed, people vaccinated, etc. Now, presumably this says all the states, right? It's not like it's supposed to be just an Alabama case. So what we want to do is actually narrow down this data set so that it only has the most recent information. Okay, how do we do that? Well, there's a technique called group by. And what group by does, it actually takes all the entries of a particular category, in this case location, like say Alabama, Arkansas, etc. And it narrows them down to one row each. But to do that, we have to specify how to narrow it down. So what do we do with all the total vaccinations? Do we take the average? Do we take the median? Do we take the sum? What do you think we should take? If we want to get the updated number of vaccinations and they're going up over time, what is it? It is the max. We want to get the max of the column. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to put in some text headers here, one at the top. Let's call this load COVID data. Great. Now I'm going to get a new one in here. I'm going to use headers group by. Okay, so here we go. Code this with me. df, we're going to reassign it. I'm not worried about the other one. df equals df.groupby. Okay, and then we put in the name of the column, location. Let's see if I can get this from memory. .ag. Okay, so we're aggregating, we're combining via what? Not the median, not the mean, not the sum, but the max in quotes. So let's see if that works. Sometimes I get the syntax a little off the first time. If it does work, we do want to see it. There we go. Look at this. So this is what we want. See how now Alabama is one row along with the other states, and the vaccinations by this ag, they are the max, okay? And furthermore, it's the max of all of the rows, and there are a lot of interesting rows here. Okay, very great, very great. And note also here that when you do the group by location, you see how it's a little different than like the other columns? It's actually not the column here, it's the new index. So it's not indexed by number in this case, it's actually indexed by state. Okay, what we want to do next is work toward making bar charts, right? And we're going to pick columns to look at. Okay, we can't look at them all, I think. Oh, there are only so many, but my personal taste is that whereas total vaccinations is interesting, I'm not big on the total because, you know, Berkeley's in California, I'm in California, a lot of you all are in California. Hey, when you're looking at US states, yeah, we probably have the most. Just like people are flipping out. California has the most COVID cases. We should. It's the biggest state. I think a little more interesting is to look at per. They've got some things here, right? People fully vaccinated per 100. Cool. Total vaccinations per 100. People fully vaccinated. People vaccinated per 100. And then, you know, there's more. So what do you think? People, let's start with maybe how many people are fully vaccinated now? Like, let's find out, okay? And it's kind of interesting now, right? We're seeing the top 5 states by alphabetical order. We're going to order these numerically, right, to see which states have the most, okay? So let's do that next. We did our group by. Next, we'll do a new text header. And so let's look at how to order by column. Okay, how do you do that? Like, let's order by, what was that? People fully vaccinated per 100. I think I'm going to copy that one in. Okay, so how do you do order by column? Well, it's df.sort values, there it is, by equals, and the column name. Now, when you do it like this, go ahead and do that. Look and see what happens. Okay. Interestingly, we have some different, not just states here. People fully vaccinated per 100. If you look at this column of choice, which is this one, you can see that it's starting at the low ones and then going to high. Now it has the NANs as the high. I'm looking at states, not for these. And I think, yeah, I think we can eliminate those. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead and eliminate rows. I'm exploring this data set for the first time with you all right now. Okay, I changed it from an old one I used because they weren't properly updated. So how can I get rid of those? I don't want those there. It shows 65 rows. It'd be cool if I could just get the states. So see, sometimes I'm not sure about the syntax, okay? But if it's not something I prepped in advance, I sometimes have to look it up. So let me show you how I do that. It's kind of useful. So I want to basically delete rows with null values. Hopefully that'll preserve the 50 states. We'll see. So let's try this. Delete rows with null values. And look, pandas, that's what we want. Okay. Stack Overflow, gold. Okay. Always go to Stack Overflow. If it's a challenging question, I might pull up like 3 different ones. So I usually just go straight to the answers. If relevant entries are empty, you can use drop in A. So it looks like drop in A is right. This subset, I believe, is like if you're looking at, I would assume, a particular column. PO8 already has an answer. How do I drop a row whose particular column? See, it's more specific, like a particular column. This is like any column. Okay, but let's try it like this. Okay, so search the Stack Overflow, copy that in, and let's just try it with this column that we're looking at, right? Which is people fully vaccinated per 100. Hopefully that will eliminate the non-states. Okay. And then we need to do, I think we need df.shape. Okay. Just to show you, if I go back up here and I look at df.shape, got 65 rows, 13 columns. So if I drop it, let's see what's the new shape going to be. Well, we got rid of those 4. So it's still got 61, so it's still got some non-states in there. Maybe they will reveal itself in times. I could try without the subset too and see what that happens. Let me try one more here. Sometimes in data analytics, you just got to explore and try stuff. So I'm going to call this subset, meaning like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to eliminate the criteria. This just will eliminate rows with null values. Act is equals 0, that's rows. I want a df sub.shape. It's still the same, okay? Okay, well, let's move on and redo this. And I want to redo this using one other idea. Let's order it in the other way. It's Federated States of Micronesia. Okay, so there are these interesting, like, smaller ones. Let's order it in reverse, okay? And the way you do that, copy in what you did. This didn't really do anything, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then what you can do is ascending equals false. And what that means, right, it's not going from bottom to top, it'll go from top to bottom. Okay, give it a whirl. And you can see, very cool, look at that, look at the top states. The Republic of Palau, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, people fully vaccinated per 100, you know? Give it up, right? We're looking at real data. You get on the news, what are they going to say? I mean, give it up to the Republic of Palau. I don't even... I can't say I've heard of the Republic of Palau before. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so... must be Caribbean island or something. You guys, when new stuff comes up, I got to just look it up. Republic of Palau. Oceania. Interesting. Pacific. Oh, wow. Very interesting. You can get a little map there and zoom out too. Look, population 18,000. Hey, give them credit, right? They're handling COVID well. I kind of want to see it, don't you? Like, meaning like zoom out a little bit. Interesting. I guess that's... Is it somehow like the United States? I thought this was like the US. Okay, sorry for this tangent. I like tangents. You know, I want to go back. Western Pacific, does it say, is a US territory? All right, I saw that in the, I mean, it should be when it's in there. Get full source, free, so, you know, you can get more info on it, okay? Anyway, I want to get back to the data, and I want to do one more thing here, and that's choose the number of rows. I want the top 10, okay? So, you ready for that? Colon 10. You can see it shows top 5 and bottom 5. Let's give us the top 10, and there we have it. Republic of Palau leading the way. Awesome, right? Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I always wonder, like, where's California, you know, because that's where we are. Hey, we can go bigger, right? We can go top 15. Hawaii makes it. Guam, New York, big state. All right, you know, do one last try. Does California make the top 20? No. Okay. And we're ordering by people fully vaccinated per 100. All right. So, you know, you can find your state. You can keep exploring with those numbers. What we're going to do, though, is instead of looking at it like this, we're in fact going to graph them using bar charts. So here we go. New text header. This is the one I want. Let's call it horizontal bar. Let's call it bar charts first. So how do you do a straight bar chart? And what is a bar chart? The difference between a bar chart and a histogram is that a bar chart is like individual values, like Minnesota, Colorado, Pennsylvania, whereas a histogram is binning like multiple ones, right? You need usually numerical for histogram, like, you know, like, I mean, for states, it's more of like a bar chart because states are discrete. But if it was like income we saw before, right? Income would be, oh, people that make between this and this, and you group multiple states, or states say that make, whose average income is between, you know, these two numbers, and then you group like a certain number together. Okay, so how do we do straight bar charts? Well, let's do a regular imports. For matplotlib.pyplot is PLT. Yeah, well, let's just do it right. Import Seaborn as SNS, sns.set, gives us a nice little background. And then we need to be clear about how to set our X and Y values, okay? I say that because, you know, previously we've always used columns, but here the X values would be like the index, okay? So let me show you how to do that here. So set X values as index. We're just thinking of X as like the regular input here. There's general imports. Okay, well, it's something like this. It's X, let's call it X vals equals df dot index, but you need to actually convert it to the normal column type, which is a series. So you actually do two series, which you see as an option here. Okay, that's how it's done. So individual columns are technically series. That will do it. Okay, now we want to set Y values as what we want. So for the Y values, let's use the chart, right? Let's use this. And we also want, in particular, not just the chart, but we want the column that we're grouping by. So copy that code, bring it down here. Now, that wasn't saved. We need to say it. df, let's call it fully vaxxed per 100. I'm going to shorten this. Full V per 100. Let's call it per. Okay, there we go. And then furthermore, like let's just show them all. Okay, you can limit it if we think it's too much, and we can actually do both. Okay. So note that what that's doing is it's defining a data frame, but the key here is that it's in order. And actually, I think we want to do that first, because we don't want the orders have to match. Okay, so when we're setting this as the value, take this off, then we want not just df as the index for X, we want df full V per, for vaccination per. Okay, so the Y values then would be, it's simply the right data set, df full, there it is. And then I want the column, people, is it still in there as my command V? No. People fully vaccinated per 100. Okay, that is my column that I want. You can see what I'm going. I know it takes a little bit of code, but we're going to repeat this and it'll be fine. So recap, what did I do? I want to use this data set in order, okay, because the orders have to match for X and Y. So I just define it as, hey, df equals this. But I don't want to call it just df, okay? Because I want to be able to refer to df later to do more of these. So I give it a little name, df full vper, to try to indicate what it is, but not make it too long. And then that's what that is now, without the limitation of 20. And then the y value is simply the column that I'm looking at. And the x values, importantly, give us in order the series. And it looks better when they're in order. Okay. What do we do next? Let's do the bar plot. So SNS dot straight bar plot. I think it is. Looking for some code over here. Yeah, SNS dot bar plots. Okay, SNS dot bar plot, and then here's the thing: to make it horizontal, you switch X and Y. Okay, it just looks better. You try both ways. All right. What else do we want to do? Well, we're going to make this good the first time. Suppose I like to show you like how it looks when it's not good. Let's just make it good. Well, let's do the figure size, right? We need the figure size. And that could go up here, I think, you know. It says a bar plot with fig size. You may be able to do it in parentheses, but I can know it'll work here. So plt.figure and then fig size. Now this is actually going to be done differently because we're going to have like 65, a stack of 65. So I'm just going to guess the first time. Probably we want it high, so horizontal, maybe we want to fill it up something like 12, and vertical maybe like 24. You know, it might need to be really tall to get it to look right. We'll mess around with it and see because if it's too squished, it might fit all. But if you've got 65 labels, it might not look good. Maybe that's too big. I don't know. Let's just try something. And one more piece, color palette. Okay, I want to do it now. So we have options for color palette. I like to do things like, hey, if it's green, it's good, right? So you can do greens. This is greens in reverse, actually. And what that does when you reverse it, puts the darkest green at the top, meaning like best case. It gets lighter as it goes down. And then we can show it. Let's just do it all. Let's title it, you know. Hopefully it'll be good. You know, the issue of doing too much at once, right, is if there's an error, it might be harder to find. So let's give it a title. What should the title be? Well, you got to look at what's the data saying and when is it saying it. So you should have updated data. My data is June 20th, 2021. So I'm going to say fully vaccinated. I try to like not use too many words. Full vaccinations per 100, June 20th, 2021. Okay. And then I want to title it with the title. And I'll wait to save it until I get the horizontal vertical thing right. But we're going to title, save, and show. Okay. Little trio there. Okay, so go ahead and get the code all set up. I'll give you a minute to catch up. And then I don't know if it's going to work, or if we got a little error in here or what. So I'll let you guys have first go at it though to see. When you get a lot of code, I'm like 50-50, you know. Get used to getting errors and correcting them. All right, let's give it a go. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Oh, like the United States shows up on the, oops, on average. California, better than average. Oh, it just missed. It was like 21. Oh, man, that looks good. Doesn't that look good? Do you see how the bar chart? Look at the Republic of Palau. It's amazing. Why do I say it's amazing? Because we don't hear about it. It should be in the news. So, and the other cool thing is you're going to have, it's going to be different when you have it. You can like look toward the bottom too, be like, you know, state. Look, Alabama was the first one on the list. Maybe they could try to do more. occasionally things can cut out here, like United States of Micronesia, and we can look at how to fix that. Right. But that's kind of nice. And actually, I think the height is good here. See, if you squish it too much, let me show you. Like, let's just say I do 12 here, okay? You can tweak it. Actually, that looks pretty good, right? I mean, it's squeezing it, but it's, you want to make it readable. I think it's a little tight. I'm gonna go for 15. The advantage of not making it too, you know, vertical, of course, is so that you can fit it all on like one screen, you could say. Oh, I like that. I think I'm gonna make a change. So full vaccinations, US. It's not just states, I'll just say US. And then I give a colon here for the date. And then I'm gonna save it, okay. So we can get it looking really nice. And the save fig, I just put the title in. It's the advantage of like giving the variable, giving a string to the variable title because you use it twice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh no, I like it. You know, it's got the labels. The location is showing up. Oh, and now the federal states of Micronesia show up. Great, so we don't have to mess with that. Okay, it's gonna look great, I think, when we do it with the save. Okay, give it a go. Check out your save version. All right, remember to get the save, go to the left. There it is, with the title. Click download. Do that now. And open it up. Kind of excited. Oh, you can see I did another one. It showed up. This is before, but it wasn't updated. Do you see this? This is like, it says COVID cases by country. And like, where did I was like, oh, France is the most, more than India? And no, you know, I went into the news and checked. So I'm glad this actually did show up because it's like a deal of like data integrity. And the reality is, you are kind of reliant on the data itself. We're not here to be, we're not the people who are like really like verifying the data accuracy because we're not on the data collection side, we're on the data analytics side. But you do have a responsibility. You do not want to publish false information. Okay. Something to think about. Just have your radar up when you're looking at things. Okay. So how does this one look? Get the other one over here. I had a hard time grabbing it. Hold on. It's a little small, right? It didn't get everything. Okay, so I think I need to fix this. So here's what I'm going to do. Make a couple changes here. I'm going to give it more verticality, and I'm going to increase the DPI. Did I forget the DPI? That could have been the issue. Oh my gosh, I forgot the DPI. Okay, that's the issue. See, without the DPI, it just looks like whatever. So DPI equals 200 has been working well. I don't know if that, I'm going to move the verticality up to 18. Try it again. Now, it should, see, after it's run, it should just be re-downloaded, right? This should be the new one. Okay. So download it. Click on it. Grab it and move it. I feel like, does that look a little better? Yeah, it's cutting off, so we're gonna have to figure out how to stop it from cutting off. Did the title not show? You know, sometimes the viewing, it might be a little, I don't know, how it views is its own thing. Okay, so it's not yet perfect. I don't know, maybe in yours it looks better. But you can see, just to focus on that, the bar chart itself, I think looks really nice, like top to bottom. I really do. I'm going to try to increase it, actually. So I'm assuming that it's properly updating. You wouldn't think that Exynet would matter. Okay, I'm going to 21. And then I'm going to increase this to 250. And we'll come back to how do we, there's missing stuff when we save the figure. I wonder if does the horizontal piece matter? Like, is it not horizontal enough? Could try it. There might be some question too about the, well, that's definitely showing. I was wondering with Seaborn's options and the figure size that we're setting. So one more try in this one. Re-download. It keeps looking similar. Yeah, so I think this is a start, okay? We're off to a good start. Take a little pause, make some tweaks, and see what we can do, okay? And I encourage you also, whenever you're coding and you get stuff, right, take that extra step, okay? That's my point here. Take an extra step to get it just right. Because that as it is, does not work for a nice published graph. It's close, right? It's close. We just got to shift it, get that title in there, make some small changes, okay? I'll figure out what's going on. Back in a minute.